He comes up to me, I'll never forget, he goes, Danny, you be in movie, and you fight Eric in movie, and you be my friend. Now, if you come from a prison background, and people say, you're gonna be my friend, dude, it's a red flag. You know what I'm saying?
Let's hear it for actor and legend Danny Trejo.
All right, on three, I want everybody to yell, Robert Rodriguez, let's do Machete 3.
See.
Yeah, that's going right to him, too. Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, DC.
So, have you done an Awesome Con before? Do you know?
Have I what?
Done Awesome Con, this show. Have you done this show before?
Well, I don't remember. I've done quite a few of these. I was here when we did Spy Kids, and we went to the Spy Museum. You know, and that was a lot of fun.
Before we get into all the crazy acting stuff, I got, I'm a big foodie. I love food. I grew up in Dallas, but then also I live in California, so, all kinds of Tex-Mex as well as, California cuisine. But, you're in the restaurant industry. You've got, you coming out with beer, and you're coming out with ice cream, red tacos. I mean, you're doing it all. So what's the latest and greatest in the restaurant world for you?
I got mock tequila now.
Oh.
I got tequila that you can drink, and then if the cop stops you here, you can hey, have some.
Keep going.
And we did a thing in my last cookbook, which is mixed drinks, but they're all mock. There's no alcohol, and having a lot of success with them because a lot of times people don't want to have to explain why they're not drinking.
Yeah.
And I don't drink, so I don't care. People don't ask me, but I've noticed that a lot of times, people are like,
yeah, I don't drink either. People think I'm so weird when you're at a party. They just think, why aren't you drinking? And it's great to be able to have more options.
Why don't you drink? Because when you get drunk, I'm gonna take your wife home. I'm sorry. That was not right. I'm sorry.
You mean you're just driving her safely home?
Yeah, driving her
with
safely
a husband in the back seat so you can get home this way. Like an Uber. You're like an Uber. That's what it's like. Do you have it's always tough to ask people who are in the restaurant or just in the food business. Is there a perfect meal for you? Is there something out there?
You know what? We have a Baja fish taco that is so I love fish anyway, right? So, and we've got a Baja fish taco we've got a cauliflower taco that has been number 1 on the Yelp, whatever that thing is. Everybody loves it. It's cauliflower, yeah, but it's good.
Anything next you're dreaming of as far as food? When it comes to food?
We're gonna open up a restaurant in Detroit, like the House of Blues, with a big venue. Because I started a record label and it's doing really well, and then we're gonna open up one in London. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's amazing.
It's like everything good that's happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. I helped this director who had a movie that he wanted to do, and he needed a name. It's like, but anytime you need a name, that means you don't have a budget. So he was talking to me and Gloria, my agent. I was waiting for a big movie, right? And it's about 3 months, I'll just take a break. And she kept telling me, well, this movie looks really good, Dan. It might be. And anyway, so I said, okay, let's do it. So we did a movie called Badass. And I know. Turned into a trilogy. We ended up doing 3. I made like 5 times the money, but on it, I met a producer named Ash Shaw who saw that I like to eat good food. I don't eat processed foods. I try to. I was 70 at the time, so you better eat good. You know? And he said, Danny, why don't you open a restaurant? You know, jokingly, I said Trejo's Tacos. And then we did Badasses, Badass on the Bayou, and he brought me a business plan, and I opened the first page, didn't have no killing, so I gave it to my agent, and she said it's a no-brainer. So we opened 1 restaurant, we got 5 now, and a donut shop.
Donut shop.
And a donut shop. And if you go to the donut shop, if you eat more than 2 pineapple fritters, you probably need rehab. Well, that good, God, man. But so, you know, it's like I said, it's like it just all keeps happening every time, you know, you help somebody. Good stuff happens.
That's awesome. So all of our guests that we've had on this stage, we've started off the panel asking them, how did you get into acting? You have quite a history, you know, starting out when you're a young kid and everything from, you know, drugs to prison to getting sober and all. I mean, it's wild. And so, you know, how did you connect that journey from going from that life to becoming an actor?
I was a drug counselor, and I was working with this kid that got me into, he was being like an extra, and so to hang out with him, come on. So I'd be a drug counselor during the day and stuff, and sometimes I'd go and be a extra, and then one night he called me up and said, hey, there's a lot of blow down here on my job, man. I know. I've been clean 108 days now, and I don't know. So I went down to hang out with him. That's all. I just went down, and it turned out that I walked onto the set of a movie called Runaway Train with John Voight and Eric Roberts.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because they had all these guys dressed like convicts, like prisoners. They're all mean. And God, I said, God, these guys all get killed in prison. You know? It's the last place you want to try to be a bully, you know. And so I run into this guy. They asked me, do you want to be in this movie? I said, what do I got to do? You want to be an extra? An extra what? Can you act like a convict? He was in every prison in the state of California. I'll give it a shot. No. Give me a shirt. I took off I got a big tattoo on my chest. And this guy, I'll never forget, he goes, wait a minute. What gang sign is that? That's stupid. Leave your shirt off. So I got my shirt off, and I'm standing there, and they're going to give me $50 for acting like a convict. And then this guy looking at me, I'm looking at him, I know this guy. And he comes over and says, hey, you're Danny Trejo. I go, yeah, he said, hey, Danny, I saw you win the lightweight and the welterweight title up in San Quentin. You're Eddie Bunker. This guy was a real famous writer, but not when he was in Quentin. In Quentin, he was the captain's clerk, and that's like the most powerfulest job in the prison. Because if you get the captain to sign something, it's law. You know, so if a guard is like hassling you too much, you know, you can give Eddie $100 and you get that paper signed, and all of a sudden that guard will find himself out at the tower in the bay from 12 to 6 in the morning. You know, how'd I get here? Yeah. And so we started talking, and he said, Danny, are you still fighting? I go, hell no, they're gonna give me $50 for acting like a convict. And we both laughed because we'd been doing that for free forever. And he said, he adapted the screenplay. I didn't know what that meant, but he said, Danny, we need somebody to teach one of the actors how to box. And I said, what's it pay? And he said, $320 a day. Now, when he said that, I wasn't making $320 a week, you know what I mean? As a drug counselor. But I remember saying, how bad you want this guy beat up? No, that's a hit. He wanted me to, I understand. I'll beat him. I'd have beat him up for another $50. $350, that's a killing, yeah. And so he said, no, you gotta be careful. This actor's really high strung. He goes, he might sock you. I said, Eddie, for $320, give him a stick. Are you crazy? I didn't beat up for free, man. I started training Eric Roberts how to box for that movie. And the director saw that Eric respected me and do what I told him to come on. I'll never forget Andrei Kajulowski, a Russian aristocrat. His grandfather wrote the Russian national anthem. I think one of them guys. Yeah, and he comes up to me. I'll never forget. He goes, Danny, you be in movie, and you fight Eric in movie, and you be my friend. Now, if you come from a prison background, and people say, you're gonna be my friend, dude, it's a red flag. It's automatic red flag. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's get the rules right here. And then he leans over, he kisses me on both cheeks and walks away. And I told Eddie, hey, Eddie, look, I'm gonna train the kid for $320, but if I gotta kiss that old man, I want more money. No, he's European. But if I would have known what that old man did for my life, I'd have washed his back. Wow. I mean, literally, I got a SAG card. So every time I walked on a movie set, I made $320. And I mean, God, the first, 4 years of my career, I played bad guy, Mexican guy, tattooed guy, mean guy. I never even had a name. The first name I ever had, I was Italian. I played Art Sanella in Death Wish War. And I thought I made it. Wow. But that's how I got into the movies. And everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of help with someone else.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. Well, you've played so many iconic roles, but it sort of all culminated with Machete and working with Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, so tell us about that experience and how that character really came about.
Okay, but I want you all to hashtag him or whatever you do, however, and say, hey, let's do Machete 3. Because
get out there.
It's so funny because when we did Desperado, I walked into Robert's office in Venice. He was casting in Venice, California. I walked into his office and he says, God, you look like the bad guys in my high school. I said, I am the bad guys in your high school. And we started talking, and then he handed me a knife and said, work with this. And so I got a job on Desperado. I went to Acuna, Mexico, and that's right across the border from Del Rio, Texas. And so all my family's from San Antonio, so they came down to visit me. So I'm walking around with no shirt on, and Antonio Banderas was nobody knew him. He was like from Spain, and the Spanish have a very aristocratic kind of sound, and voice, aristocratic, I guess. And in Mexico, it's like real different, and the Spanish, and so everybody kind of just gravitated towards me and taking pictures with a tattoo and so Robert kept saying, wow, they think you're the star. I said, I am the fool. What's wrong with you? About you? That's the star of my movie. And then, but all my family came down from Texas, from San Antonio to visit. And my uncle, who's that? That's Robert Rodriguez, the director. And my uncle called, hey, Robert, the director called Robert, comes over and starts talking. All of a sudden, he says, hey, Danny, say hi to your cousin. I found out Robert Rodriguez is my second cousin. So how's that? And I just, all right, let's make the part bigger, cuz, but, and we had started talking about Machete there, because he said, I got a role that I want to do, Jim. And it's this federal that gets in trouble and blah, blah. And he's like a superhero, cool. And so I loved it. And then when we always talked about it. Then we did Spy Kids, and we said, okay, well, Machete, spy gear, so I was Uncle Machete. And then when they did Grindhouse, he said, let's do a fake trailer. I said, okay, let's do it. So we did it. And if you notice, the trailer that was in Grindhouse, every part of it was in the movie of Machete, and so, but that's when it started, and Machete hit it, and it was an amazing movie, and what just blew my mind was when Halloween came around, and all them little kids started coming up the house with their little painted mustaches, their little knives. I'm Machete, wow. So we had a superhero.
You start off the panel with the hashtag Machete3. Is there a possibility? Is it kind of?
Yeah, we keep bugging him. Yeah. Tell him, Robert, don't be afraid.
The bringing back and doing trilogies. That's the thing now. It's so popular.
Yeah,
so
that was a fun movie anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, we're gonna have some audience questions. You see our microphones over here, so let's start over here. So go ahead and say your name and how many awesome cons this is for you.
Hi, I'm Will. This is my first Awesome Con, and my question is kind of regarding what we just talked about Spy Kids. So canonically, how would you think that Machete fits into the Spy Kids universe? Because clearly they're the same person. So I mean, was he Machete before Spy Kids or after Spy Kids?
He's just asking you to guess.
I think that's a question for a mathematician, not Machete. No, it was kind of, you know what? In Spy Kids, I had Machete spy gear, but he was kind of Uncle Machete. I don't know if that answered the question, but I think he fit. Machete is what he does when the kids are gone.
Of course, we now live in a multiverse sort of world now, so it could be just a multiverse thing.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, here you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have to ask, since I'm wearing an Electric Mayhem shirt, what is your favorite part of working with the Muppets?
Wow. You know what? When you work with the Muppets, at the end of the day, you feel like an idiot. Because you are like talking to puppets like they were real. I mean, you can't help it. It's so unbelievable that there's the people that handle them. You can't take pictures of them laying down. You have to, and if you can't talk to the person that has the Muppet, you understand? It's like they can only talk
to the hand,
to the Muppet, and it's heavy. I mean, it is like it's like being with a bunch of cousins or something. I don't know.
Speaking of, hands and puppets and masks, you did a little stint on The Masked Singer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was cool.
You were a raccoon, I think. A raccoon? You were a raccoon?
A raccoon,
What was
yeah.
that experience like? That was
You know
wild.
what? They asked me, yeah. So I did it because the raccoon looked exactly like my dog, John Wesley Harding. I don't know. What do you call it? A little dog looks just like him, right? So, hey, let's do this. So we ended up with the master. Jenny McCarthy? Yeah. She kept my voice, your voice, my voice. And then she says, did we have a one-night stand? God, I wanted so bad to say, I know your husband. Yeah, we did. No, no, you know, but it was like really funny. It was like such an experience to be in that costume, and nobody recognized me until, you know, I don't know how. I don't remember, but it was like it was quite an experience, and I kind of dug it. I really like doing that.
How do you feel about your singing? You like to sing? You like to sing?
Yeah, I sang too.
You like?
What did I do? Well, I sang a couple of times. In one movie, Delta Farce, I sang. At first I was afraid, I was petrified.
Right on. All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Taylor. This is my first Awesome Con, and my question is, what was your experience or story of the casting for Muppets Most Wanted?
Your experience, how'd you get cast into the Muppets movie?
You have such a what?
I'm sorry.
You have such a what?
I'm not sure what the... You want to repeat your question again?
What was your experience or story about how you got casted in Muppets Most Wanted?
The Muppets Most Wanted, I love that movie, but...
How did you cast it?
How did I cast?
How did you get casted?
Got hired.
You know what? I was in another Muppets movie, and they cut me out. I forget what it was. I threatened the producer not to. But no, so they called me for the Muppets. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the Muppets Most Wanted was so much fun. Believe me. It was like we were in London, England. I was with Ray Liotta, rest in peace, and we just I couldn't unbelieve. We had a blast. We almost got arrested because we went to where did we go? We went to the palace, the Buckingham Palace, and the big Rolls Royce pulled up like in front, and so I just felt stupid, and I started screaming, Elizabeth! Elizabeth! It's me, your son! Remember Juan the Gardener? Do you remember? Come on, I'm from Pacoima, California. No, you can't do that. Everybody laughed, but the people on that side. So anyway, we left.
Thank you.
But England's a lot of fun. I'm going back there with a restaurant.
There we go. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm Alex. This is my first Awesome Con.
Awesome.
Yeah. Coming from your humble beginnings, we'll put it, how has it been with your family getting all of this fame and everyone knowing who you are? Has your family started treating you different, or like cousins come out of the woodwork like, hey, Danny, you wanna hook me up?
My daughter was interviewed one time, and they asked her, where'd your dad grow up? And she said, he hasn't. He's still cruising Van Nuys Boulevard. He's got 4 lowriders. And, I haven't grown up. Nothing's changed for me other than just, I sign a lot of autographs and take a lot of pictures. But other than that, I live about 5 miles from where I grew up, and I kind of don't let it, I don't know. I know some people start hiding and stuff, and I can't do that. I got too much going on. And I don't travel with a crowd. I'm just me. That's all. I don't
I know for myself, like representation is so important, and seeing someone that's on screen that looks like me is so important, and it's something that's starting to change. It's got a long way to go. We've seen some great changes, but what's been your experience like as you portrayed all these characters and you meet fans at conventions, and what's your interaction been like with them as far as them seeing you on screen? What's it been like?
You know, they're proud of me. I'll tell them I got a mural in my neighborhood, and it's right next to a market I robbed. It's funny. Yeah. And my mom was the one that they were dedicated. They put this mural, beautiful mural, and then my mom, there was a mic like this, and it was open, and my mom standing there, she goes, "Mijo, look, you robbed that. You were arrested right there."
Thanks,
so,
Mom.
You know, hey, thanks, Mom. Trying to be a citizen here, and but so you know, you can't change. Your circumstances can change, but you can't. You gotta. I've tried, man. I've tried to be someone else, but everybody else is taken. I'd rather be John Wayne or something. But I just am me, and I think everybody that knows me knows. You know, I just don't. I don't know. Right on. So, come on over and have lunch.
All right, here, go ahead.
My name's Michael. This is my 6th year at AwesomeCon, and you've been in so many great projects, from Dusk Till Dawn, Spectacular Spider-Man, and you've been in one of the greatest movies of all time, Heat. And I was wondering, what was the experience of filming that like?
I got to say, Heat was career changing. You know, I mean, I worked with De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, you know, John Boyd, all the biggies, man, and Tom Sizemore, and I actually, me and a guy named Eddie Bunker, my mentor, the guy that recognized me, Runaway Train, and actually got me going in the movies. We actually went on the set as armed robbery consultants. You know, we were teaching everybody how to do a robbery, you know. And it's not that hard. But it's so funny because De Niro and Val Kilmer and Tom Sizemore wanted to walk into a bank with a gun. You know, not loaded, but with a gun. See how it felt. And Michael Mann says, damn, do you? Yeah, I've already done it. And but when I walked onto the set, Michael Mann called me Gilbert. He says, "Hey, Gilbert." And I said, "No, I'm Gilbert's nephew, Danny." Michael Mann did a movie called The Jericho Mile, and he did it in Folsom Prison. And the Caucasian guys came out, and the African American guys came out, but none of the Mexicans came out. The Mexicans have a union, and and so in order for the Mexicans to come out, they had to talk to the shot callers, you know, the guy, and so he talked to my uncle and a couple of other guys, and him and my uncle became friends, Gilbert Trejo, and Michael Mann won't admit it, but he actually paid my uncle SAG wages while they did that movie, The Jericho Mile, because he kept them all the Mexicans in line, you know. And so when I came on the set of Heat, he mistook me for Gilbert. And no, I'm Danny. And we started talking, and he said, I want you to read. So I read for that role, and he didn't even listen. Yeah. So I got that role without even, and he wanted me in that movie. He changed the script 3 times because he kept changing my name. And finally, if you listen to that movie, he came to me and says, Danny, every time I look at you, I think of Gilbert. Can I call you Gilbert Trejo in the movie? So if you look in the movie, it's Danny Trejo playing Gilbert Trejo. That was my uncle, and so, and he was, like I said, it was like a career-changing movie.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I'm Benjamin. This is my 7th AwesomeCon. Now, my question is, since for many of us, Spy Kids was our first introduction to Uncle Machete, and I was wondering what were your first impressions working on the project, and what are your thoughts now, years after?
God, I love Spy Kids. I mean, working on Spy Kids was just seeing the way Robert was, the way, and I just say, a lot of movies don't like the bunch of kids is like, and Robert just does it. He knows how to handle it, and it's a real fun place. You're not hearing all kind of yelling and stop that, put that down. You're not hearing all that. It's just like a fun place, and we had a blast. And I know that kids get a bad rap, that grow up in movies. Daryl and Alexa are 2 of the most well-behaved kids I've ever met. And I'm talking about Alexa would do an award-winning scene, and everybody would cheer. And then she would walk off the set, and her mom would say, okay, it's your turn to hold the baby. And she would give her little brother, and it was her turn to hold the baby. And it was like, they were just great kids. And I was really, really proud to work with them. Now they're like, I did a movie with Daryl a little while ago, and he's already got a baby. Alexa's got 2 babies that are just absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous.
Awesome. Thank you.
She married a guy pretty as her. Good, handsome, handsome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hola, buenas tardes, señor Trejo. Hi, Mr. Trejo. My name is June. This is my 7th, maybe 8th year at AwesomeCon, lost track already. First, I would like to say I appreciate what you've done throughout media and now in the food industry. And I've been to Trejo's Tacos. The cauliflower tacos and the margaritas there were delicioso. I can guarantee that. So my question is, as someone who has a strong representation in the Latinx community, not only in the media, but also in the food industry and beyond, what is something that you tell young Latinos alike who struggle to continue going after their dreams since times are constantly changing?
Well, one of the things that, like when I go to schools and talk, is my main talk really is about, drugs and alcohol will ruin your life. Education is the key to anything you want to do. And it's funny, but like a lot of kids, I tell them if you're 14, 15, 16, and you already started drinking, people don't realize it. You're already drinking alcoholically because you're drinking against the law. That's like drinking and driving. That's against the law. So it's like, I am not against alcohol. I'm not, what I'm against is people that abuse alcohol. And it's really easy to do. I abused it for a long time, and so I don't know if that was your question, but that is my main concern in schools today. It's like we got kids dying of overdoses in juvenile hall. We've got kids being shot at parties drunk, So I think that's my main concern, is that, like, wait a minute, something is wrong when young people think this is what I have to do. You know, I have to drink, I have to use drugs to be accepted. You know, something's the matter.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Zach, and this is my 10th Awesome Con. So my question is, I heard a podcast interview with you a while back where you talked about how you used your Hollywood clout to create more opportunities for Mexican actors, Hispanic actors. I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, like anytime I do a movie, I ask who the cast is. You know, and you know, how many Latinos, how many African Americans do we have? I mean, and you know, I do movies with. I just did a film called 1521. It was about when the Spaniards tried to take over the Philippines. They tried to baptize them very holy. We'll baptize your kid, you, and it was like there had to be about 5 or 6 of us there, and a lot of Filipinos because we were in the Philippines. But I try to get as many people of color in every movie that I do, you know, and just that's the way it's got to be. And it's so funny. Thing that really struck me really bad, you know, is I started a record label, right? Trail Music, and we're doing pretty good, man. I got sold these forever right now. It's an album and doing good, but I tried to go to Pomona in California. Pomona was where they were housing all the kids that were being dropped off at the border from Mexico, Honduras, you know, Guatemala, and they started taking immigrants from other countries, from Europe, because of a war. And I was trying to tell Governor Newsom, you know, hey, the reason those kids are being dropped off is because the cartels they're at war, you know, and moms ain't just bringing them over here for nothing. It's they're trying to keep them from being sent to Iraq, Iran, wherever, you know, and nobody wanted to let us go perform for them because what is it, a political basketball, you know. And so I called the governor. He kind of said, I got you. And he gave us of the insides. We went to Pomona and put on a show there. And it was funny. I got a little girl. Her name is Amora Jasmine. And she sounds like Selena. And she looks like her. So when she started singing, these kids hadn't even laughed since they got there, or smiles. All they do is cry, you know. Different country, can't speak the language, and they have no idea what's going on. And when she started singing, you could hear the little rumble, yeah, parece Selena, parece Selena. And then pretty soon, all of these little kids, everybody on, all the staff started crying, because all these little kids started, como la flor, you know, they were like all jumping around. Como la flor, God, man. Immediately, Long Beach, where they housed the other 500 kids, called us up and said, would you come down here? So that's the stuff I like to do, you know. That's what keeps me going.
Well, unfortunately, our time is done, but you know, whether it's representation or iconic acting roles, helping kids get sober, or bringing great tacos, we very much appreciate you, Danny. Thank you for being here.
God bless you. Thank you, guys.
Danny Trejo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, don't forget, hashtag Robert Rodriguez. I want to flood him. Robert!
Machete 3!
Hey, this is Alex Malari Jr., and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Your Emperor commands it. Thanks for watching.